the room, and hope keeps clearing its throat saying, I'm still here, don't forget me. And if you've ever said, I'm doing everything right, so why is it taking so long? Congratulations, you are officially human. Let's talk about the real problem. The real problem is not that things haven't arrived yet. The real problem is that while you're waiting, your words are quietly working against you. Yes, I said it. And don't worry, I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to laugh with you a little. Because we all do it. We wait with our lips saying one thing, and our inner conversation saying something entirely different. Out loud we say, I trust. But inside we say, any day now would be nice. Out loud we say, I know it's coming. But inside we whisper, what if it doesn't? Waiting becomes painful not because of time, but because of the dialogue we keep repeating while time passes. Here is the great misunderstanding. People think waiting is about endurance. It is not. Waiting is about alignment. You are not waiting for the thing. The thing is waiting for the version of you that speaks as if it is already inevitable. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, here we go again, stay with me. Because this is not about pretending, forcing, or lying to yourself. This is about understanding a law that works whether you like it or not. Words are not decorations. Words are directions. You see, every word you speak carries an assumption, and assumptions are commands dressed in casual clothing. When you say, I've been waiting forever, you just told life, this state continues. When you say, nothing ever works out for me, you just filed paperwork for more evidence. You didn't mean to, but the universe doesn't check intent. It checks tone. Now, let's be honest. When you're tired of waiting, the last thing you want is someone telling you to stay positive. That's like telling a hungry person to admire the menu. So, I won't do that. Instead, I'll tell you what to say that actually works when patience is running on fumes. First, stop saying what you see and start saying what you select. This is where people get stuck. They think honesty means narrating reality. No. Honesty means choosing truth over appearance. Appearance is change. Truth is stable. The truth is not nothing is happening. The truth is something is forming. So instead of saying, I'm tired of waiting, try this. I release the burden of timing. What belongs to me is moving toward me now. Notice how that feels. It doesn't deny your fatigue. It redirects your authority. Here is something most people don't realize. Impatience is not frustration with time. It's frustration with lack of control. Waiting makes you feel powerless, and the human ego hates that. So it starts negotiating, complaining, dramatizing, and the more you talk about the delay, the more solid it becomes in your experience. Think of waiting like being in line at a bakery. The moment you start yelling, this line is taking forever, you don't magically get bread faster. You just make yourself miserable and give the line more emotional weight. But when you calmly say, my turn is coming, something interesting happens. Your body relaxes. Your mind stops fighting the moment. And paradoxically, time feels shorter. Now scale that up to life. When you are tired of waiting, what you say next matters more than how long you've waited. Let me give you a simple framework you can actually use, especially on the days when your faith feels like it's on vacation. 3 questions. That's it. First question. What am I assuming right now? Second question. Is this assumption serving me? Third question. What assumption would feel lighter? That's not toxic positivity. That's intelligent redirection. If your assumption is, it's not working, ask yourself, what if it is working in ways I can't see yet? You don't have to fully believe it. You just have to stop arguing with the possibility. Here is a powerful phrase to use when you're tired of waiting. I may not see movement yet, but I trust the rearrangement, because that's what's actually happening. Delays are rarely denials. They are rearrangements. Life is moving pieces you don't even know exist yet. And yes, sometimes it feels rude about it. I once said, half-jokingly, the universe has no concept of urgency, but it has excellent taste. And it's true. Things arrive when they fit, not when you panic. Now let me talk to you like a friend for a moment. Some of you are tired not because you've waited long, but because you've been waiting while doubting yourself. That's exhausting. Waiting with faith is one thing. Waiting while questioning your worth is another thing entirely. And if that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. Your delay is not a reflection of your value. You are not on probation. You are not being tested to see if you deserve good. You are not forgotten. Sometimes life says, not yet, because if it said now, it would crush you instead of bless you. So what do you say when you're tired of waiting? You say, I stop wrestling with time. I allow things to arrive in their proper order. Order is important. We want the result, but we skip the preparation. And preparation often looks like boredom, repetition, silence, and no applause. Waiting seasons are quiet seasons. That doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means roots are growing, not leaves. And yes, roots are boring. You can't post them. You can't show them off. You can't measure them easily. But without them, the first strong wind ends the whole story. Now let's address the humor in all of this. Because if you don't laugh a little, you'll cry a lot. We say things like, I'm being patient, while refreshing our email every 3 minutes. We say, I've surrendered, while mentally micromanaging the outcome. We say, I trust divine timing. But we add, by Friday, preferably, we're funny creatures. So instead of beating yourself up, change the script. Literally, when impatience rises, say this out loud if you can. I am not behind. I am being positioned. That sentence alone can change your nervous system. It shifts you from panic into perspective. Here's another one. Everything is unfolding in my favor, even if it's taking the scenic route, because sometimes the scenic route teaches you things the shortcut never could. Now, let me gently challenge you. What if the waiting isn't about what you're trying to receive, but about who you're becoming while waiting? Not in a punishing way, in a refining way. Like gold doesn't complain that the fire is unfair. It understands the assignment. And you don't need more patience. You need better language. Words shape expectation. Expectation shapes perception. Perception shapes experience. So instead of saying, I don't know how much longer I can wait, say, I choose peace while things align. Peace is not passive. Peace is powerful. Peace says, I trust the process enough to stop strangling it. Now here is a small, practical action you can take today. Just one. When you catch yourself complaining internally about the wait, pause and replace it with a statement of certainty. Not excitement, certainty. For example, it's already arranged, or this is handled, or what's mine cannot miss me. Say it calmly. Say it without drama. Calm certainty moves mountains faster than emotional begging ever will. And let me tell you something quietly, because this part is important. Sometimes the reason waiting feels unbearable is because you've tied your happiness to the arrival. You've told yourself, I'll relax when this happens. I'll be okay when this changes. That's too much power to give a future event. Happiness is not a hostage negotiator. It doesn't need a deal to show up. So say this instead. I allow myself to enjoy my life now, while good things are on their way. That sentence alone removes desperation from your energy, and desperation repels. Calm expectation attracts. I know you're tired. I know you've been strong for a long time. I know you've smiled through uncertainty and told people you're fine when you weren't. And that's why your words matter now more than ever. You don't need to shout at the universe. You don't need to beg. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to speak like someone who knows the outcome is secure. So today, try this. Just today. Speak to your waiting like it's temporary, not permanent. Speak to your future like it's cooperative, not cruel. And speak to yourself like someone who is trusted, not tested. And if you're willing, do one small thing right now. In the comments, or even just to yourself, say one sentence you choose to replace impatience. One sentence you'll use every time the waiting gets heavy. Make it yours. Make it gentle. Make it powerful. Because what you say when you're tired of waiting doesn't just pass time. it programs the arrival. Now that you understand the power of what you say while you wait, we must go deeper, because knowing something intellectually is not the same as living it emotionally. And if we are honest, the hardest part of waiting is not the silence outside, it is the noise inside. The inner commentary that wakes up before you do and says, "Still nothing." The little voice that keeps a record of how long it's been, as if time owes you interest. So let me ask you something gently. When you wake up and nothing has changed yet, what do you say first? Not out loud. Inside. Because that first sentence sets the tone for the entire day. If the first thing you think is, "Another day of waiting," you have already framed the day as resistance. But if you think, "Another day closer," even if you don't fully feel it, you have framed the day as movement. This is not wishful thinking. This is directional thinking. Most people do not realize that the subconscious mind does not respond to facts. It responds to familiarity. Whatever you repeat becomes familiar. Whatever becomes familiar feels true. And whatever feels true begins to show up as experience. So when you keep repeating, "Why is this taking so long?" your mind doesn't hear a question. It hears a declaration. Here is something that may surprise you. Waiting is often a signal that you are standing at the edge of something significant. Small things don't require long preparation. Big things do. If you were ordering a sandwich, you wouldn't expect a 3-month delay. But if you were constructing a cathedral, you would understand why time is involved. Some of you are not waiting for a sandwich. You are waiting for a cathedral, and cathedrals are not rushed. So what do you say when the waiting feels unfair? You say, "I am being prepared for something that requires stability, not speed." End quote. Speed without stability creates collapse. And life is kind enough to protect you from receiving what you are not yet steady enough to hold. Now let's talk about one of the sneakiest traps of waiting: comparison. You look around and see other people receiving what you've been asking for. Someone else gets engaged. Someone else gets the job. Someone else's business takes off. And suddenly your waiting feels personal, like you were skipped in line. But comparison is a lie, told by incomplete information. You don't know what they practiced in private. You don't know what they negotiated internally. You don't know what kind of pressure they are under now that the thing has arrived. So here is a phrase you can use. The moment comparison shows up, their timing has nothing to do with mine. Say it calmly. Say it often. Timing is individualized, just like fingerprints, just like voices, just like paths. Now, let me tell you something practical and slightly amusing. The universe responds much faster to calm certainty than to emotional urgency. Calm certainty sounds like a clear signal. Think about it. When someone calls you panicking, you can barely understand them. But when someone speaks calmly and clearly, you know exactly what they want. So when you're tired of waiting, don't shout your desire. State it. Instead of saying, "Why hasn't this happened yet?" say, "I expect this to unfold smoothly and at the right moment." Expectation is not pressure. Expectation is permission. Here is another truth that will set you free. You do not have to be cheerful while waiting, but you do have to be consistent. Consistency beats enthusiasm every time. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to stop contradicting yourself. Many people say affirmations all morning and complain all night. That's like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time and wondering why the car smells funny. If you want movement, remove contradiction. So here is a simple rule you can live by. Never speak about the delay more than you speak about the destination. If you catch yourself rehearsing the waiting story, interrupt it. Literally, say, "That story no longer serves me." You are allowed to change the narrative mid-sentence. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Some of you are tired of waiting because waiting has forced you to sit with yourself, and that's uncomfortable. Movement distracts. Waiting reveals. It shows you where you don't trust yet, where you don't feel safe yet, where you're still negotiating your worth. And instead of judging that, use it. Ask yourself, who am I being while I wait? Are you becoming bitter? Or broader? Are you becoming anxious? Or anchored? Are you shrinking? Or strengthening? Waiting seasons are character seasons. Not because life wants to teach you a lesson, but because expansion requires space, and space feels empty before it feels full. So what do you say when the silence gets loud? You say, I am not empty. I am available. Availability is powerful. Availability says, I am open without clinging. And clinging, by the way, is just fear wearing a tighter grip. Here is another sentence I want you to practice when frustration peaks. I release the need to control how this arrives. Because control and trust cannot sit in the same chair at the same time. One has to stand up. Now, let's be very real for a moment. Some of you are tired of waiting because you secretly believe that if you stop worrying, nothing will happen. As if your anxiety is the engine keeping things moving. That's a lie. Worry does not speed things up. It only wears you out. You are not required to suffer to deserve good outcomes. Read that again in your mind. So instead of saying, I can't relax until this works out, say, relaxation allows things to work out. Your nervous system is part of the equation. Calm creates clarity. Clarity creates right action. Right action opens doors. Now let me give you a very small, very effective practice you can use daily. It takes less than a minute. When you feel tired of waiting, place one hand on your chest and say, slowly, I am safe in the waiting. Your body needs to hear that. Safety shifts everything. When you feel safe, you stop forcing. When you stop forcing, things move. And yes, sometimes waiting ends suddenly, almost comically. One email, one call, one conversation. And you'll look back and realize the waiting wasn't wasted. It was preparing you to receive without fear. So here is what I want you to remember. Waiting is not a punishment. It is a pause between decisions. Life is adjusting. Circumstances are aligning. People are being moved into position. And you are being refined into someone who can receive with grace instead of desperation. Now, I want to invite you to do something simple. Just one thing. Choose one sentence from this conversation and make it your anchor. Write it down. Say it when impatience rises. Say it when comparison knocks. Say it when doubt whispers. And if this message spoke to you, if it felt like someone finally put words to what you've been carrying, let me know. Share your anchor sentence. Engage with this message. Stay connected. Because this journey is not meant to be walked alone, and reminders are sometimes the bridge between waiting and receiving. You are closer than you think. And what belongs to you knows exactly where to find you.